Good morning, Langston third graders. Today's word study assignment is going to be this reading passage, just like the passage we would have normally sent home with you to practice your fluency and worked on in the classroom as well. What I want you to do is read over this passage and identify all of the long E pattern words. I'm going to read through it with you, and I want you to listen to those words as I'm reading them and be taking note. And you could actually also pull this up in another window and go ahead and be highlighting or underlining those long E pattern words while I'm reading it. So let's get started. The title of this passage is How to Sew on a Button. When a button falls off of your clothes, it's nice to know how to sew it back on. You can succeed at sewing a button on anything, from a sports shirt to a fancy evening gown. To do a decent job, you need a button, a sewing needle and thread, a pair of scissors, a toothpick. Here are the steps. Number 1, if you have the button, use it. If it is missing, check your clothing for extras. Some shirts have extra buttons sewn on near the bottom. If there are no extras, find one that matches the size and color of your missing button. Look in a sewing kit if you have one, or find a matching button in a store. Number 2, pick the same color of thread used for the other buttons. Number 3, cut a piece of thread about 2 feet long. Number 4, feed one end of the thread through the tiny hole in the top of the needle. Pull it to make 2 ends that are the same length. Tie a knot in the ends. Needles are sharp, so use extreme care. Make sure a grown-up is there to help. Number 5, set the button in place on the clothing. If you want, put a toothpick between the clothing and the button. This will give it a little extra room to move. Number 6, push the needle from under the clothing and through a hole in the button. Pull the needle tight until the knot stops it. Return the needle back down through a different hole and beneath the clothing again until the thread is tight. Repeat this step 3 times. Number 7, end under the clothing. Make a double knot and cut the thread. If you used a toothpick, slide it out. Your job is complete. All right, boys and girls, that was our passage. So I want you to read that and listen to those words as you read them aloud. If you hear the long E sound in those words, I want you to underline or highlight those words in your passage. There are, let me just tell you how many there are without giving away all of the answers. There will be 12 words that you should find that have the long E pattern. 12 words. Okay, so get that done and submit it to your teacher and see if you can find all of those long E words. Happy Thursday!